Hello my good people, welcome to my channel. Today we are reviewing Carter movie. People were getting infected by a deadly virus, the symptoms of which were surfacing in the human body in merely 5 minutes. Those who were infected showed abnormal and enhanced physical abilities, and they were turning into something like zombies, the only difference being that they were more agile and more powerful than ever. The United States had been affected by the soldiers who returned after serving in Korea. A huge chunk of the population of North Korea was also affected by the virus. South Korea, on the other hand, was declared a virus-free zone by the World Health Organization. The CIA had obtained a video of a naked man standing beside Dr. Jung. He gave them an address and claimed that Dr. Jung was still with him. The CIA agents reached the location, but the man didn't remember anything. He had no clue when he had sent the video. There was a puddle of blood in the room that led to a cupboard. There was the sound of a ringtone coming from inside the cupboard. He picks up the phone where an anonymous caller tells him that his name is Carter and then asks him to hand it over to the CIA agent standing behind him. As soon as the man gave the phone to the agent, it exploded, killing her. The man was told to escape the building as the anonymous caller was going to blast it too. She told him that a device had been implanted inside his ear, and that was how he could hear her voice. The man jumped from that building to the adjacent one. He still couldn't figure out what was happening to him. The adjacent building was probably a spa, bathhouse, and there were a lot of men who started staring at him. They attacked him, but somehow he managed to handle them all by himself. It made him realize that he was no ordinary person because only a trained professional could have such skills. The voice in his ear was constantly guiding him as she had access to security camera footage and could also detect heat signatures within a radius of 50 meters. She tells him to go inside the car that was approaching to get more information. He meets Choi Yoo-jin in the car, who works for the National Intelligence Service in South Korea. The mission had been proposed by Carter himself, who had told them to block his memory. He doesn't understand why he would do so. Jung-hee tells him that he used to be a CIA agent from South Korea. He camouflaged his identity and entered North Korea as a journalist. He was a celebrated soldier in the South, but the North Korean government suspected him of being an American spy. They wanted to keep a close eye on him, so they planted a woman and told her to get intel about him. But Carter and this North Korean spy fell in love and eventually got married. Han Jung-hee tells him that his wife died due to the virus, but his daughter Yoon-hee, though infected by it, was still alive. She was kept in the research facility at the Sinuiju Chemical Weapons Institute. The mission was simple. He had to save Ha-na so that her blood could be used to make an antidote and ultimately given to her daughter and others like her to cure their infection. The CIA had a theory that Mikhail Bain had undergone plastic surgery and taken the identity of Carter. The DNA tests were going to come out, and only then could it be ascertained whether there was any truth to the hypothesis. Han Jung-hee intentionally redirects the signal to Carter's molars so that the CIA can catch it. The molar was a kind of explosive device, and as soon as the CIA took the teeth out of his mouth, it exploded. Carter once again is able to escape. He received a message from Agnes, the CIA agent, who told him that his real name was Michael Bain, though the DNA tests were still not out. While Han Jung-hee tells him to go inside the car that was waiting for him, Agnes tells him to take the bus if he wants to know more about his real identity. Carter takes the bus and meets Agnes. She tells him to trust her if he wants to survive. Before she could say anything more, she was shot at. She tells him to run before the CIA gets to him. Carter gets off the bus with Ha-na, but bikers clad in black arrive and take her from him. A violent chase begins where both Carter and the multiple bikers try to fight for the most prized possession. He hears the voice of someone, probably Agnes, in one of the earpieces worn by the CIA bikers. Carter met Kim Jong-hyuk, the lieutenant general, and Han Jung-hee, the woman who was speaking on the device implanted in his ear. Carter's mission was now complete, and as promised by the North Korean government, his memory was to be given back to him once Ha-na was in their possession. But Kim Jong-hyuk had other plans. He was the leader of the coup in North Korea. He knew that he could use the situation to his advantage. He backstabbed the North Korean government and wanted to have some leverage over the South Korean and the United States regimes. Han Jung-hee was his wife, and she had not died as told to him earlier. Jung-hee pleads with Kim Jong-hyuk to spare the life of Carter and let them leave the country as it was decided earlier. But Kim Jong-hyuk's ruthless ambitions of ruling the country and creating a new world where he was the uncrowned emperor were not deterred. Carter once again is able to defy death and escape by killing all the North Korean soldiers. One of them had got a call from Kim Jong, who ordered to keep Carter alive, though he was unaware that Carter had already killed everybody there and was coming for him. He reaches the Sinuiju chemical factory, stands at a distance, and looks at Kim Jong through his sniper lens. He calls Han Jung-hee and asks her to keep her phone on speaker so that he can hear what they were talking about. Kim Jong had told his soldiers to wait and not kill Carter until he instructed them, because he wanted to lure Han Jung-hee to side with him. He was giving her an offer to save Carter and her daughter in return for her allegiance to him. Carter shoots with his sniper but misses the mark. Without wasting any time, he takes off from the cliff in his car and enters the chemical factory. Carter and Han Young-hee find their daughter and take her to Dr. Young Byung-ho inside the facility, who gives her an antidote immediately. Carter and Han Young-hee Dr. Young and Ha Na escape the facility and run to save their life. Dr. Young opens his stitches on the back of his neck and puts a device to bring all his memories back. He remembers everything all of a sudden. He was trying to escape North Korea with Han Young-hee and his daughter when Kim Hyok came with the forces and stopped him midway. Carter gives them an offer. He tells them if they would agree to release his wife and his daughter, then he would get Ha Na from the Sia's captivity and bring her back to North Korea. Kim Jong-hyuk agrees but infects the daughter Yoon-hee so that Carter does not play any tricks with them. Now that he had fulfilled his end of the promise, Kim Jong had changed his mind. Once again, Carter kills hundreds of soldiers and Kim Jong-hyuk too. He saves his family and also Dr. Young and his daughter Ha Na. Together they got on a train which had the infected people on it and was going to Dandong in China. They thought that they had put an end to their horrors, but it was not so. A surprise awaited them at the very next step. Thank you watching. Kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel, like and share, and click the notification bell to get updated on the latest movies reviews.